Violence in Bawku, mayhem on our roads, and joy in the park. This afternoon, we bring you your very favorite show, The Pulse, with all of the biggest stories. Hello, good afternoon. My name is Kuje Yankson. This afternoon, Bawku Municipal Chief Executive Amadou Zanga has shared chilling details regarding the murder of some 7 residents since Saturday. Armed men wearing military gear are said to have barged into the homes of the victims and fired shots sporadically. The latest round of violence commenced on Saturday amid sporadic shootings, leading to deaths a few kilometers away from Bawku. Listen to the MCE, Amadou Hamza Zanga.
Some people who alleged to be military personnel.
Okay.
Were very military, but not the real military.
Have you heard from the military commander in your area? Because
he came to me.
Okay.
The police commander was here. The 2 of them all were here.
Okay.
They saw the incident. They saw the people. I have.
And is he able to account for his men in the area? Does he know where they all went on the said day?
Absolutely. That is exactly what he's telling me.
Okay.
And that is what the divisional police commander Adamu Stelu also told me.
Right. So what's the situation like now, seeing that this was very close to your doorstep?
Very, very close, man. So I'm wondering. And that's why I am trying to find out from the military and the police commanders what is happening in Bawku. Look, I'm not talking because they are my neighbors. I must be worried because they are my neighbors. I am worried because some innocent souls in every part of Bawku have been killed in that cold manner. I'm wondering, the life of every single person in Bawku matter to me as a municipal chief executive. Yesterday, they went to an area which is not closer to my area. They equally killed a woman and a husband, and they moved to the next house to kill another lady there. Previously, an old man was killed, and his son was shot at. His son didn't die on the spot. The son was taken to Vineyard Hospital and later died. This is complete violence with impunity. For example, there were other people that were killed. So many people were killed in Bawku. You cannot even mention the names of those people. A woman was murdered. A woman was murdered in Bawku. This woman, apparently, the information I gathered was that people also wore military uniform and they got there. That is what I am getting. Those are the information that comes to me as the chairman of the Municipal Security Council.
That's the Bawku MCE there, bringing us up to date on the gruesome murders of some 7 people. He also reveals that the unending conflict is hampering development in the area.
An old man who was murdered, and I told you the son died later in the hospital. Baba Salam, I can now figure the name. It's completely nonsense. We don't have to do that. Why should we begin to kill ourselves again in this country? I am seriously working on development project in Bawku to prepare the needed development that Bawku is lagging over the years. And that is the period for 1 year I'm not able to do proper developmental agenda for the people of Bawku. The government of Ghana is stressing so much that the desire to get the people of Bawku the needed development projects that we need as a municipality. Government has gone to look for funding from the World Bank, a loan facility to actually raise the standards of Bawku from its current status to a more modernized urban city. The program is running under for 35 municipal assemblies. Bawku happens to be one of the few assemblies in the country that is benefiting from this facility. Millions of Ghana cities pouring in and redesigning the Bawku market and trying to make sure I construct roads for the people of Bawku, provide them with water, give them necessary electricity to be able to do their daily activities. And this impunity keep on going. I think that there's a need for central government to take a holistic approach of this whole thing.
Right.
People are running away from their homes from Dadure. People have vacated their residence in Zongo. Other communities where I live, a lot of people have moved out of those areas. What is happening?
Now, the latest development, the Peace Council says they are working hand in hand with the relevant traditional authorities to find a lasting solution. Reverend Ernest Edu Jemfi is chairman of the council.
The longer this conflict continues, the more avenues criminals are likely to come into the situation. And from what he is saying now, the impression I have is that there are some other people who have infiltrated into the community who are doing these things. And it's because the conflict is on, these criminals can also come in and do all the things that are happening. My view is that we should be able to get the Southeast and the Mampusi leadership together, especially between the Bokunaba and the Nairi. Whatever means we have to adopt to get these two top chiefs together to agree to talk to their people to cease fire is a critical thing that we need now. If we're able to get them to get their people to cease fire, then it becomes easier for the military and the security apparatus to fish out these criminals who have infiltrated the system. If they don't cease fire, then we're going to have all these guys running around killing people innocently. And it will be difficult to hold anybody responsible because it appears that the two communities are doing this, whereas it may not be coming from.
Let's get some more from our Upper East Regional correspondent, Albert Sore. Albert, tell us, what's the mood in the area today and how is the security situation evolving?
Just so at the moment, Bawku is calm. We haven't witnessed any incident today so far, but you would understand that people are still not feeling safe, especially because of the things that have been happening in the area for the past 2 days. Yesterday night, there were gunshots. The nights before that, there were a lot of sporadic shooting into the air almost throughout the night, and people could not sleep. And so many residents of Bawku are still wondering if the security is really having the situation under control, because we got reports of people reportedly climbing trees in order to be able to shoot and all of that. And this happened just before the recent killings happened yesterday morning. So a lot of the people of Bawku are still not, so sure of their lives. A while ago, just before I came on air, I got people message me on social media to say that they really don't understand what is happening in Bawku, because now it's beginning to look like a lot of things do not add up. Because one, you have people allegedly shooting, wearing uniform, as the MC, confirmed, and they do not know whether these are people pretending to be security people or these are actually security people who did the shooting. And if that is the case, then how safe are they? There are people who have asked questions like whether Bawku is too big for the Ghana army to be able to take charge of and to be able to control the people who do this kind of sporadic shooting every night, even at curfew hours from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. when people are supposed to be indoors. So, today we haven't witnessed any incidents, but the people of Bawku do not feel secure at all as we speak.
Tell us about the state of infrastructure. About a week ago, you reported that NEDCO had to shut down power because the shooters damaged one of their transformers. Has that been repaired? And has there been damage to any other infrastructure since the violence began? Yeah,
so that was repaired some 24 hours or so later after the incident happened, and power was restored. But you will get the sense that the general situation in terms of service delivery, even with the banks, in the hospitals and schools generally, is something that, is almost at a standstill, because every moment you can expect shooting to occur. So those who are brave enough to go out and go to work do so feeling that they are doing so at the risk of their own lives. We have had reports from the Bawku Presby Hospital, which is also in the middle of town, and is always at the center when fire is being exchanged. In some months past, the Presbyterian Church of Ghana opened a psychiatric facility here in Bolgatanga, And during the opening of that facility, the moderator was here. And when we spoke to him and asked him about the hospital in Bawku, one of the things he said was that if care is not taken, they will soon have to consider closing down the hospital for the safety of their staff. We've had incidents where banks had to temporarily shut down. The National Health Insurance Scheme once told us that Bawku is lagging behind in terms of registration of people onto the scheme because the place is so insecure that they are not able to go there and do their registration. Schools have been closed down in some of the communities, and in situations where people who are from the factions involved in this dispute have to go to the other side where their rival lives in order to be able to work, they cannot go. So if I'm a teacher and I'm let's say a Kusasi person, and the school I'm teaching in is in the Mamprusi area, I'll be afraid to go there and to do my work. So that is the situation in Bawku. You get the sense that today things have been normal, but when you talk to people, in fact, there's somebody this afternoon that I spoke to who said that she's a worker working in Bolga, but her family is in Bawku. But because of the things she's hearing, she's unable to go back home to see her family. So, Kojo, that's how serious the situation is at the moment.
You talked about things not adding up, the general feeling amongst the citizens that things don't add up. And I suppose that began with the choice of victims in the initiating incident. You reported that it wasn't clear why those particular people were targeted because they don't appear to belong to either of the factions. Have we learned anything more about the motivation behind that initiating incident? Why those people?
Yes, so if you listen to the MCA when he was interviewed, he himself is in shock as to why that attack was carried out. And as we speak, they are still trying to get to the bottom of that. Today, we've had other incidents that we are yet to confirm. And so just out of caution, I don't want to speak about that now because the MCE has told us that today they have a meeting in which security matters will be discussed. But you get the sense that people are taking advantage of the conflict situation there to perpetrate other crimes. That is why some people feel that something isn't adding up because a family of a man and his two children and mother were killed in the first incident this weekend. And these people, from what we learned, do not belong to either factions in the dispute. And these are the people that the MCA just confirmed to us were killed by people who were wearing, security services uniforms. So that is why people are beginning to ask questions as to whether this is, getting out of control. And one thing I can quickly add is that people are even beginning to feel that outsiders, people who live outside of the Bawku municipality, who may belong to these factions in the dispute, are being brought in, into the fighting. There are reports that people are even coming from Burkina Faso, and these people allegedly are being paid to fight for the factions. And these are stories that you hear from the residents of Bawku themselves, who are feeling that beyond what we know of the ethnic dispute, chieftaincy dispute that is going on, there is something else that may just be cropping up, which the security apparatus are yet to maybe lay their hands on.
Now, a typical Christmas tradition is for as many people as possible to return to their hometowns to celebrate Christmas with their extended family. How has this affected that tradition in Bawku? How are the lorry stations looking following this recent re-emergence of violence?
In the case of Bawku, it's different. Rather than people going home to spend the Christmas festivities with their families, a lot of them are rather leaving the town to go to their other relatives outside the town. And just like I said, I've spoken to people who have said that they are afraid to go back home There are people from Bawku who are working in other places like Bolga, Zebila, etc. But these people can no longer go home because it is not safe. The people who live there, if they can help it, leave the town to go and join their relatives in other parts of the region. On the night after the man and his mother and two children were killed, we had reports of people fleeing Bawku in the night to Zebila and other places to spend the night because the gunfire in the air that night was so intense that some people could not sleep. So that is the situation. I would not say that the people of Bawku are curfew imposed on Bawku as we speak. So, unlike in other places where we can go out at night to hang out and have fun and enjoy the Christmas, by 8 p.m., everyone in Bawku is supposed to be indoors and they are only allowed to be outside after 5 a.m. the next morning. So, it's not, the ideal Christmas period for people living in Bawku.
What sense do you get from the authorities? Do they seem to be expecting more of this, or are they working to the theory that this is more likely to have been an isolated incident that they simply must investigate and get to the bottom of? Do they think there will be more violence?
But the sense I get from authorities is one of frustration. Even if you listen to the MC when he spoke this morning, you could tell that he was almost frustrated by everything that is going on. And maybe they are even overwhelmed by all of this. It's one of the reasons I suspect the police is very careful about granting interviews to the media, because up to now, the regional police PRO, who we are told is supposed to give us information, says that he doesn't have clearance to speak on Bawku. The Bawku Divisional Police Commander says that, yes, he's on the ground. He's the one gathering all the information and sending it to the headquarters where the PRO is supposed to give the information to us, but he is not mandated to speak to it. So they then tell us to contact the Police Public Affairs Office in Accra for information, which, for a lot of us, it doesn't seem to be convenient. And so you get the sense that they are trying to be very careful, one, because they have a lot on their hands. On one of the occasions when I called Commander, he told us that he was busy and there was so much pressure on him and he could not speak at that time. Even the municipal chief executive, when this recent round of killings took place 2 days ago and yesterday, he wasn't available to speak to us. It was this morning that I was able to get him on the phone and speak to him, and he agreed to grant us the interview that you played back earlier. So you get the sense that the authorities have their hands very full with all of this, and probably they have a fear that if they don't grab this and work around the clock to clamp down on whatever is happening, things could get worse.
Thank you so much for bringing us all the way up to date there. Albert Sorry is our Upper East Regional correspondent, and you'll certainly be seeing more of him as the story evolves. Now,